It looks like Mewtwo might have to move over for this updated Charizard deck. Up until this point, the reigning champion and the most popular deck used in TCG Pocket tournaments has been the Mewtwo EX Gardevoir deck. And based on the reactions that I get when I use that deck on my live streams, it's clear that people are pretty sick of seeing it. But it looks like this updated Charizard deck might be giving the Mewtwo deck a run for its money, as recently it took the first place spot in Ursiday's Pocket Weekly number 5. So this tournament took place just last weekend on the 30th of November, and as you can see from the standings here, the Charizard EX Arcanine EX deck took the number 1 spot. Now, the last time that I mentioned a Charizard deck, I gave you guys the most basic and most common build at the time, but did mention that people were starting to update it just to make it a little more viable and less luck-based. And it looks like this most recent update is giving the Mewtwo deck a run for its money. This new Charizard Arcanine deck consists of 2 Charmander, 2 Charmeleon, 2 Charizard EX, 2 Moltres EX, 1 Growlithe, 2 Arcanine EX, 2 Professor's Research, 1 Sabrina, 2 X-Speeds, 2 Pokeballs, 1 Potion, and 1 red card. And so this updated version really relies on you being able to find your Arcanines so that you can use your devastating Inferno Onrush attack, which does a whopping 120 damage. Couple that with an HP stat of 150, and the only requirement being 3 energy versus Charizard's 4 energy for Crimson Storm, and you're able to set up your big attacks much quicker while you're setting up your Charizards in the back. Granted, Arcanine EX's Inferno Onrush does make it so that it takes 20 damage to itself every time. However, you don't lose any energy like you do with Crimson Storm with Charizard. The rest of the setup is pretty standard to the Charizard EX deck, which is using your Moltres in order to Inferno Dance to attach energies to either Charizard or Arcanine, using Professor's Research as well as your Pokeballs to find your basic cards as well as your evolutions, using Sabrina as Disruption as well as X-Speeds to make speedy retreats, a Potion for some HP recovery, and a red card for some more Disruption to make sure that your opponent does not get the hand that they need. Now, this isn't to say that it has taken over in the popularity contest yet over the Mewtwo EX Gardevoir deck, as the Mewtwo EX Gardevoir deck still holds first place for top usage, with 325 players taking it to Ursiday's last tournament. However, as you can see, there was 114 players that did opt for the Charizard EX Arcanine EX deck, and it actually had a higher win percentage than the Mewtwo Gardevoir deck, with a 46.88% win percentage over a 43.08%, meaning that this Charizard Arcanine deck was actually winning more consistently than the Mewtwo deck. Now, the Mewtwo deck that did take second place was also an updated Mewtwo deck as well, as this one is running 2 Ralts, 2 Kirlia, 2 Gardevoir, 2 Mewtwo EX, a Jinx, a non-EX Mewtwo, 2 Professor's Research, 2 Sabrina, 2 Potions, 2 X-Speeds, and 2 Pokeballs. So it looks like the metagame is changing towards people adding in other Pokemon to help keep their big attackers safe, since as we can see from the Mewtwo deck, people are adding non-EX Mewtwo and things like Jinx, and like we just went over with our Charizard deck, we're now adding another EX Pokemon that is faster to set up. And this is also not to say that the original deck is not as good as this deck either. As you can see, 69 people did bring the typical Charizard EX Moltres deck, and it did have a win percentage of 45.49%, so slightly less consistent than the updated version with Arcanine, and actually still more consistent than Mewtwo EX Gardevoir. So it looks like Charizard might actually be giving the Mewtwo deck a run for its money when it comes to top usage, and now taking the number 1 spot in actual tournaments. And there was actually 2 of these Charizard Arcanine decks that did make top 10. Like I mentioned in my last Charizard video, I have a lot of success when it comes to the Charizard decks, and the addition of the Arcanine is really helpful just because it is able to set up a lot faster, so you don't necessarily need to rely on Inferno Dance as much. But I'd love to hear what you guys think about this updated deck, and do you think that this new Charizard deck might end up being number 1? But that's gonna go ahead and wrap it up for today's video. Hopefully you guys found this video entertaining, and if you did, I kindly suggest that you consider subscribing so that I can continue to make content for you guys. And if you were already subscribed and you would like another way to support the channel, feel free to check out the merch store. There is a link down below in the description that takes you to not only my merch store, but also all of my other socials so you can keep up with what I'm doing on a daily basis. But thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you to those of you who have joined the channel as members. I appreciate you all so much. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys!